folks, Will here. How doggy? Van Build Willderjess Adventures Vlog Journey. Howdy do. Glad to be here and glad to be continuing along, and also very happy to have this side of the garage able to walk through. Well, technically cut the vacuum in the way and whatnot, but we're doing some cutting today. We're building, which again, we got this side clean, and so happy to do so because we got the roof put in. Folks, it turned out pretty good. Happy with the result. Everything went up pretty good. It was smoother than I anticipated for sure. I didn't really have any major hiccups. Everything went in good. We got 18 boards all the way across the top, which we still see we got some openings on the side, but we're going to close those up with wall panels and trim coverings. What we're working on today is the side panels. Getting this started, getting these going up. We're going to get some 2x4s cut to go across the top. What my goal is to create an insert that pretty much goes into that hole, and then we can put some more of the tongue and groove on this side of the panel. This side is going to be cabinets and, storage area. We're going to put some cabinetry on the top on this side, in which there'll be a kind of a inset kind of beside the bed over here, a little like down pocket area, and as well as where the wires go, going to plan on putting kind of a little shelf nook part there too. So stay tuned, and we'll get this part put on. How dare you? Tell them how hard you're working, son. Yes, sir. Alright, here we are getting the wall framing up, which will hold the inset here, which tongue and groove will go in, which I'll build some vertical runners here to be able to mount the tongue and groove to, which we see we got this piece that I mounted here, and it turns out the stock hole that's in the van, which the board here is covering it up, is about 1.5 inches higher than that one right there. So I mean, I ain't fighting dealing with 1.5 inches difference building this thing. So I'm just gonna drill another hole right here, which I just moved the board down and then stuck my bit through and marked it. But here, tip of the day, whenever you gotta do something like this and try to mitigate the shavings, build you a little tape for it to catch and block all of it, which this is just super expensive now. It's like $8 a roll of this here 3M painter's tape, but it's worth it. But anyway, build you a little trap, catch it, and we have this thing level. Here's our hole, so we can put us another rib nut inset in there, bolt this thing to the wall. Side note, rib nuts aren't very good. Plus nuts are probably better, but I got a bunch of rib nuts, and as long as you pay attention to how you put them in, they work pretty good. But anyway, back to the build. Our completed wall panel frame here, which is all of those pieces essentially been sticking together. It looked like some weird part, but what we did, which we made the top header panel, and this is going to be the lower, which essentially is going to create a shelf, and it's going to go in right here. So we'll get this thing slapped up in there. boss man. Making sure we're doing it right. Yes, sir. On duty. Anyway, we've been working a little bit today. We got what I can call a insert to be able to mount some more of our tongue and groove into the wall here on the passenger, well, the driver's side, sorry. Which we have this somewhat of a shelf, and then the boards will be able to mount flush against here and come up, butt up against the ceiling, which will have essentially a gap for all our wires and everything. But we'll be able to enclose the side over here, continue up some more cubbies and whatnot. We just took and cut our 2x4 to a 4-foot length. Then I made some of these little L bracket things out of a 2x4, just cut a notch out of them, and then we hadn't mounted it totally yet with that, but just got some pieces and screwed them in here and put this 2x4 across the wall. So essentially we'll be able to have a little bit of a storage nook cranny space down above our batteries, because the bed will be pretty much to here, so you'll be like a little void. But looking good so far. What up, everybody? Will here, Willderjess Adventures. Looking at my first completed cabinet slash shelf. Would say it's more of a shelf, but definitely happy with how it turned out. We got it all made out of 1/2-inch Baltic birch, except this top little trim piece. It's made out of some pine, but we ripped it all down on the table saw and put it together. We're going to put it up here on the top left along the board there, and then which we're going to put some more shelves and other things around it and encompass it. And then our tongue and groove, the same on the ceiling, is going to come and put it in this location. So y'all stay tuned. We'll get this thing knocked out and put in, have this thing looking like a usable van. Alright, here we go, starting in on the passenger side with cabinetry frame, which this is going to be what we're starting with. It runs down to base our strength and the rigidity of the wall, which will tie in with our one we got running down across the base of the bed, which is what's tying into the bed frame itself too. The beam up there, which it's a 8-foot stick, 2x4, which I treated up on each side with the table saw, and which I also put about a 4.5 degree bevel on the back of it. And folks, I'm liking it. It's creating a true 90 degree flat wall, which can come, if you run it straight down, put that board that's there, done tried it, it lines straight up and sits flat. Creates a 90-degree angle that then can be just simply transitioned into the wall. It takes out the guesswork in the factoring and figuring out which angles you need to work with as this side. Nothing wrong with what I did here. I'm really impressed and happy with what I did, but I always want to adapt and overcome to the situation. And you can't really tell in this one, because as far as you can see, there's about a 4.5 degree angle on this. You got the shelf itself is about 7 inches on the bottom. Then there's a 2-inch lip there that runs down, and that's 90. Then the staves that go up, the 4 of them, I'm not sure the correct terminology. Nonetheless, those have about a 5-degree arch or angle coming out, which so they contour with the wall on the back and then angle out, in which I ran the trim strip across the top to tie it in and close in the little bit of a gap that it left. In which over here we're running our tongue and groove. I got to get that up before I can continue with this side, so I wanted to go ahead and start on this side to adapt my changes, which we got. We'll ease back here. Dang it! What's the deal down here? Supervisor, yes sir. It's supervisor. We'll fly back here. You see the mad science house. We got the fan noise and the wind noise. Done got a little toasty. But we got our tongue and groove pieces here that will be on the side of the wall, and you may think they're a little long, so they all have to be cut down to fit, which we got them on a 2-foot center to go on there, and we'll put them on with this here nail gun. The ceiling update on that, and so far, I mean, granted we haven't driven it around, but I had to take one of the boards down when I put it up. After I didn't even have all the nails in it, and still had to take it back down. Again, when I put one up with just the 18 gauge, I think they're 1.5-inch brads, it was very, very tough to get it back down, and that was me pulling, trying my damnedest not to break the board. But again, I don't believe any of them are going anywhere. Confident in the stick job. So again, one quick update on that. See, we got their bed frame here. Bed frame is just simply 5 2x4s, coming across 2x4 run down that side, and then we got the one down this side. And we got some bed slats. We've tested it out, slept a few nights with it with this, and zero creaking, popping, everything worked good. So I think we're gonna roll with it. If we have to adapt, we can pull it all out real easily and change it around.